Right now, we want to talk some fitness and getting in shape and getting ready.
Getting in shape for 2011.
2011, that's
a lot of chunky people out there, Steve. You know what I mean? A lot of people need some exercise.
That is right.
I tell you what, you go to the mall, you go anywhere. Holy smokes!
That's right.
People need to get out there and start exercising. They need to kind of slink it up a little bit. You know what I mean, Steve?
Well, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
What about
I don't think I know exactly what that means, but we are joined by Doug Slinker. He is the founder and owner of SLINKFIT, which is a sports performance and fitness facility in Mission. He is a nationally certified strength coach with more than 20 years experience in sports preparation, athletic training, and performance-based fitness. Hello, Doug. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Steve. Great to be here.
Thanks. Now,
Doug's got that cool haircut, Steve. He's got my haircut.
He's got the Petoskey haircut.
We're twins. Yeah, we're twins from a different mother. Yeah.
Yeah. If I turn to the wrong guy, I apologize.
Yeah, right.
So
I think Doug's in better shape than me, but not by much. You know, he's a lot younger than me, probably too. So you know what I mean.
You're looking good over
he
there,
can
Steve.
beat you up. So watch what you say.
We can go. I'll have to take him on in a fight in the hallway.
I think he's training some MMA guy. We'll find that out in a second. So you better watch out. If he's training him, that means he knows a thing or two too. So watch out. So what exactly is SLINKFIT, Doug?
Well, SLINKFIT is a performance center, training facility for athletes and just regular population alike in Mission, Kansas.
And what is your explain what's in your facility if somebody shows up
So
at your
Slink,
facility?
S-L-I-N-K, SLINKFIT.
Right. That's a play on my name, kind of incorporating my last name.
Slinker.
With, fitness. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good job.
Instead of the great thinker, you're the great slinker, right?
All right.
Yeah. So in your facility, you've got some different kind of stuff. I mean, I've been in athletic facilities, but you've got some different kind of stuff in there. You've got the basic stuff, the treadmills and the bikes and things like that, but you've got some different kind of stuff as well.
Right. It's really a functional training center. So some of the things we have would be some of the same things you'd find in a college weight room. You know,
Really?
Yeah.
You say a functional training center. What is that? How do you define
well,
that?
we're looking at the way the body moves and not trying to make the body fit the exercise, but make the make the blending there happen. That is very important for a person's function in life and in sports.
So how long have you been around at this facility? You've been doing this obviously for 20 years or so, but how long have you been around at this facility?
It's been right about a year. I opened in January of last year.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
Happy birthday.
So what made you want to open, Doug? What was your thought there?
Well, I think there's probably a big need for that. And, being in the industry as long as I have, I've seen a lot of the fitness just not match and kind of deliver what it should. So I thought opening this up would give me an opportunity to do that.
And you work not only with high-powered athletes, like I'd mentioned, an MMA guy. You'd mentioned a javelin, a high school kid that throws the javelin who's fourth in the nation. You work with those people, but you also work with the average guy like Jim and me, too.
Wait a minute, I'm not average.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
The below-average guys like Jim and me.
Yeah, that's right. I think there's a foundational movement that's kind of important for all of us, whether we're competing or we're just trying to stay in shape.
And what is that?
Well, I just think that people are just kind of moving wrong, and that they need to kind of look at things that are going on below the surface, the way the nervous system kind of communicates with the muscles, and it's like a baseline approach.
Now, you kind of covered that in the first article that you did, which ran in our December issue, which people can read online at kcsportspaper.com. You kind of addressed the problem that most of us have when we start a workout program, and that is frustration. We get frustrated from either a lack of results or we get injured in the process of beginning our workout. Why does this happen to us? I mean, why do we get to this point?
Well, sometimes we ignore some of the foundational approaches, as I alluded to, and dive right into an exercise program. Sometimes you're just looking at some of the ways our joints and muscles move gives us a clue at how things are going to turn out. So. If you ignore that, then sometimes you get into a situation where you produce injuries.
So you really look at the patterns of movement, at how we move, and that sometimes...
Define movement, Doug. What do you mean by movement?
Just in its basic sense, in our body we kind of have a series of levers, if we break it down into its purest form, and some of those are designed to be still and produce stability to hold us in position. Other ones are more designed to move us, and sometimes those get mixed up, and that's where we can get into some problems.
So how many levers are there? Are there a lot of them or just a few?
No, all the joints and the elbow, shoulders,
they're all
knees.
considered levers.
Yeah,
okay,
it's
gotcha.
all levers. Yeah.
So it's getting the right movement that can produce better results for us as we're working out, and also help with the fact that we're not going to get as injured.
Exactly.
Or injured.
Exactly. The one of the main areas, and probably the simplest illustration, is the hips and the back. The back is designed, primarily the lumbar spine, the lower back, to be stable. A lot of people move in such a way that bends that area, and they kind of don't bend the hips. So there's kind of a reversal of roles there. So if you can just simply redefine that and get that functioning as it should, you can go a long ways towards creating a good base to build a fitness program from.
Right. Now, you talk about that base in the article. You do an analogy about building a house. Explain that. You say that you have to start with the foundation, right?
Exactly. Like I said a little bit earlier, people jump right into a fitness program, and sometimes they get frustrated from lack of results, and it'd be really it's very similar to trying to build a house on a foundation that's faulty.
Right.
So,
So what do you recommend? I mean, somebody we're starting up right now. Jim and I say to each other, we're going to get out and we're going to start running 2 miles.
Right.
We're just going to start tomorrow.
Right.
We're going to start tomorrow. What are we doing wrong in that case?
Well, sometimes it happens on its own. Sometimes it becomes an issue when you begin an exercise program and then you encounter an injury, and then you need to look backwards. A lot of times people get it right. They're moving fine, and they can progress, add load, add their distance if they're running. And if it's not, then you really need to look at what's going on, prior to that.
Right. But you also say in the article that, the phrase that everybody hears everywhere, no pain, no gain. And people adopt that and say, that's a good thing. If I'm in pain, I'm really pushing myself. But you kind of say that's not exactly true.
Right. Well, there's a difference between effort and being uncomfortable as you progress and push, and having legitimate pain. Pain is a signal that something's wrong.
Right.
We need to listen to that.
Right. Yeah. Pushing yourself and saying I can get an extra 2 reps in there because I feel okay is fine, but if it's causing you to put more strain on things, that's not a good thing.
Right. We need to push to progress. But
let's go back for a second, Doug, on SLINKFIT. Where did you say you were located again?
I'm at 5304 Martway in Mission.
So what is that kind of near? Is it near anything like big or?
Yeah, it's off of Johnson Drive, or behind Johnson Drive, between Rowe and Knoll.
Mission Bowl is right across the street
right,
from
Mission Bowl.
Right.
Like
Right by where
is that a bowling alley? You mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why did you pick that area?
Well, it was pretty centrally located. I had prior to opening, I had a customer base that was close to that. The rate that I got in the area was good, so
you
move forward.
You settled there.
Yeah.
So, and some of the people that you train, I know you probably can't sell us exactly, but some of the higher level people that you're training right now, you mentioned to us when we were off the air, the javelin kid that's looking at scholarships from a couple of different colleges around the area.
Right.
Who are some of the other
Right.
people that you work with?
I train the only UFC fighter in the Kansas City area, Rob Kimmons, and various other collegiate athletes, high school athletes.
So is there like a certain age you start with them, or does it matter?
It really doesn't matter. What you do matters, but we can begin to develop athletic qualities at a pretty early age.
And is it men and women too, Doug? Co-ed?
Yes, it is.
And what kind of women do you have coming in, or what do they like to do when they come in?
Well, they're really pretty competitive, and they really get after it. So they'll like to do typically some of the things that they're used to, and I begin to introduce them to some of the other things that they may not have been exposed to, and they really, really like that.
Because I hear there's a new portal coming out in Kansas City for women where they can really talk about their experiences at fitness clubs and whatever else in the city. You know what I mean? So I think that's important. They have a chance to share their experiences.
That's
so
great.
Hopefully some of your women will do that at this new portal. You know what I mean? So,
Great.
Very cool. All right,
Very
Steve?
cool. That's right. Now, you'd mentioned in this month's issue, you do an article on the 7 key ingredients of a successful training program. Most of us just kind of think that training consists of cardio or, doing some weightlifting and things like that, but you kind of really break it down into a whole lot more.
Right.
What are the ingredients?
7 ingredients. It's like making a cake, Doug,
Yeah,
huh?
no kidding.
Exactly.
Tell us about that.
7-layer cake.
That's right. Tell us about
you have to work out probably an extra couple hours to burn off the 7-layer cake.
So what are those 7 key, Doug? I need to know.
Well, it really is like a recipe, and if you don't have all the ingredients, then you're not going to end up with the results that you want, or the final dish that you're trying to cook. So we start with things like mobility. that's often overlooked. If we sit a lot, or if we're in the type of a typical situation where we're at a desk too long, and we try to exercise, we got issues with stiffness. So we need to get that soft tissue pliable, get you moving, and we move on to injury prevention. Then we get into the core training, which is important. Everybody knows about core training or has heard about core training, and yes, it is that important. And then we get into other aspects that are left out of fitness programs, like plyometric work and some of the nervous system.
What is plyometric?
Well, that's basically speed work, which we trying to work on the elasticity of the muscle, and that's things as simple as jumping or throwing of medicine balls, where speed is involved, typically with body weight.
So there's that. And
I've always wondered. Wait, hold on, sorry, Steve.
Yeah.
When you throw a medicine ball, what does that help you do, Doug? Where does that help you in your body?
It's really about the connection with the nervous system and the muscle. We're trying to get fast twitch muscle fiber activation and the recruitment of the muscle. So when we look at sports, we're looking at power, right?
Mm-hmm, right.
So if we're going to lift weights, typically it's a slower fashion, although there's some speed movements that we do with the weights. But when we work with the plyometrics and the medicine ball, as you're referring to, we can get that energy system work with the nervous system that's so key in sports.
Through a medicine ball, you can get all that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, especially the releases, the throws, some of the things we can do inside and some of the things we do outside with our athletes and our trainees.
So now this is something that you mentioned sports. Now, the average person, though, these 7 ingredients are important for their workout as well. At a different level or at the same kind of level?
It's scaled back. We change some of the parameters of the exercises and some of the exercise selection.
As hard either.
Typically not, but you'd be surprised what people are capable of if you get them moving, get them built into a good program. We progress pretty well and kind of challenge them, and they tend to like that.
Now, in the article, you say ingredient number 5 is the most important for athletes. It's resistance training. What is resistance training?
That's simply lifting weights.
Really?
Trying to get stronger using progressive resistance. It's pretty familiar to most people.
Okay.
And
pump and iron, as we call it, right?
Yeah.
We're going to pump you up. Now, and then number 6 is used to be called cardio, but you call it energy system development, and I guess is there a difference?
There is. All along the continuum from when you're using, as I mentioned with the plyometrics, the short bursts of energy that are very common in some of the more popular sports, basketball, football. Think in terms of from when the ball's hiked to when the play's over with, 6-7 seconds maybe.
Right.
So we want to make the training mimic that to better prepare them for the sport. So it's more than just this cardio in terms of the traditional fitness on a treadmill, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It just doesn't match. So we have to make the training match the sport.
So the treadmill is more endurance, right?
We can use treadmill for interval training too,
can?
but typically it's more for endurance and some of the more the exercise or the events or the sports that are more long lasting, more enduring. Yeah.
So for an individual like me, you'd put me on the treadmill for 30 minutes probably because that would benefit me better than the energy system development, because I'm not out there worrying so much about being the quickest guy. I just want to be in better shape and have my heart stronger and things like that.
Well, we would do that, the typical more enduring treadmill work, but I would introduce you to some energy system work too, because that, aside from the benefit as it relates to sport, has a lot of body composition benefits too. We can use that for fat loss and creating a big demand for calories. So we use it for athletes and for our regular clients.
Cool.
So you're getting people coming in now that the calendar has turned, Doug, saying I need to get in better shape, that kind of thing.
Yep.
What are they asking you for? What are they kind of coming in and saying?
It's the same thing. Almost every year, it's fat loss, it's muscle gain, it's a body composition thing. They want to look good, and they want to feel good.
Right.
Let's talk. You've got a strength camp that's starting up. Tell us about the strength camp, and that's more for just the average person. Is that correct?
we can accommodate all levels with that. Typically, it's a little bit above the very beginner. We want you to have a good movement base and be able to engage your core. And once you do that, you can start strength camp. And what we do there is just some real scaled back functional exercises, kind of things you do even before the invention of the barbell. We drag sleds, we lift odd objects, we swing clubs and kettlebells. We do some medicine ball slams and
what's a kettlebell?
A kettlebell is I guess it was developed in Russia. Think of it as a cannonball with a handle on top.
Oh, okay, I've seen those.
And
Okay.
so we, develop around the swing, and there's some other movements that are
How
unique
heavy
to
is that thing, a
kettlebells.
kettlebell?
We have different weights.
you do?
From 16 pounds to 88 pounds. I got a full range of kettlebells.
88. Wow.
So you swing a kettlebell like around your head or what?
No. it's a depending on the weight, you can do some different things. But the heavier ones, you want to get into a pattern where you're strongest. So it's a hip flexion to extension between the legs. Classic.
I think you'd want to keep that thing away from your head.
Well, I don't mean over your head. I mean like this, almost like this.
Like up.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So people can sign up for the strength camp. When does it start, or is it kind of an ongoing thing?
It's ongoing, but we get new people coming in all the time, and we get them incorporated right into the.
And when do you have those classes?
Those are on Saturday at 9:00.
Oh, okay. So you're going to be shooting out of here and going to teaching a strength camp. Okay.
Straight from
So
here.
dragging
to camp.
sleds. That's what football players seem to always do, right?
Yeah, a little bit different. It's not like a pushing sled like a drive sled, but we can hook them to straps. We can push. We can pull. I've got a thing called a prowler. It's very popular for speed development athletes. It's a great conditioning tool. Do a couple of down and backs with the prowler, and you'll find out how good a shape you're in.
With a prowler. That sounds pretty
a
cool.
couple. I think I might maybe one.
So you push them with your body in front of you, like?
That's one of the ways. Yeah,
I was thinking of sleds. The old you drag a sled behind you. I've seen those before too.
we do
right?
that too. We've got both. Yeah,
You do both. Okay.
Yep.
Wow. So it's kind of the strongman kind of stuff that you do, but
It
but
is.
not
It is.
not at that crazy
It
a
is.
level.
Yeah, we scale it back, but it's like the strongman you see on TV, the reruns you see at late night on ESPN. Yeah,
Yeah. But that's all good stuff.
Yeah.
Those guys are the size of a building.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you can reach Doug at 816-726-3684. Again, give us your address, where you're located.
I am located at 5304 Martway in Mission.
Okay.
And what's your website, Doug?
That's SLINKFIT.com.
Very easy.
SLINK, Slink.
SLINKFIT.com.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, Doug, we want to thank you for joining us today. I'd mentioned to you that 25 minutes goes by really fast. It went by really fast.
It did.
We appreciate it and give these guys a good workout and gals that you have at your class.
So are you
today.
going to be leading the strength camp at 9:00 this morning?
Yes, I'm heading straight over after this.
So you're going to get pumped up, Doug,
Yeah.
and get fired up, huh?
Yeah.
Well, good.
We'll
we
get
have to
going.
we'll have to come over and watch sometime. You know
You
what I
guys are welcome to come over and do more than watch. We want to get you involved.
mean? Definitely. I'd like
Sounds
that.
good.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
sounds good. Yeah.